In this video, let us discuss about service transition. This module describes some of the key principles of service transition that will enable service providers to plan and implement best practice in service transition. The purpose of the service transition stage of the service lifecycle is to ensure that new, modified, or retired services meet the expectations of the business as documented in the service strategy and service design stages of the lifecycle. Change management, the 7 R's. The potential impact on the services of failed changes and their impact needs to be considered. As a starting point, the 7 R's provide a good insight. The following questions must be answered for all changes. Without this information, the impact assessment cannot be completed and the balance of risk and benefit to the live service will not be understood. This could result in the change not delivering all the possible or expected business benefits, or even in it having a detrimental, unexpected effect on the live service. To balance the risk and benefit to the live services should be understood by answering the following questions. Below, the 7 questions are called 7 R's of change management. Who raised the change? What is the reason for the change? What is the return required from the change? What are the risks involved in the change? What resources are required to deliver the change? Who is responsible for the build, test, and implementation of the change? What is the relationship between this change and other changes? Change management is responsible for ensuring that changes are evaluated and, if authorized, subsequently developed, tested, implemented, and reviewed. Final responsibility for the IT service, including changes to it, will rest with the service owner. When conducting the impact and resource assessment for RFCs, change management, the CAB, ECAB, or any other change authority should consider relevant items including the impact that the change will make on the customer's business operation, any associated change proposal, the effect on the infrastructure and customer service and on the capacity and performance, reliability and resilience, contingency plans and security, the effect of the change on the organization's green, IT or sustainability plans, the impact on other services that run on the same infrastructure. Change management, types of change. A change request is a formal communication seeking an alteration to one or more configuration items. This could take several forms, e.g., a request for change document, service desk call, or project initiation document. Different types of change may require different types of change request. For example, a major change may require a change proposal, which is usually created by the service portfolio management process. An organization needs to ensure that appropriate procedures and forms are available to cover the anticipated requests. Avoiding a bureaucratic approach to documenting a minor change removes some of the cultural barriers to adopting the change management process. There are 3 different types of service change. Normal change are changes that must go through assessment, authorization, and may require Change Advisory Board (CAB) agreement before implementation. Emergency change are only for highly critical changes needed to restore failed high availability or widespread service failure, or that will prevent such a failure from imminently occurring. Emergency changes are handled through ECAB, Emergency CAB. Standard change are used for pre-authorized, repetitive, low-risk, well-tested changes. Often, these will be used for service operational maintenance changes. Changes are often categorized as major, significant, or minor, depending on the level of cost and risk involved, and on the scope and relationship to other changes. This categorization may be used to identify an appropriate change authority.
Change management. Key definitions. Service change is the addition, modification, or removal of anything that could have an effect on IT services. The scope should include all IT services, configuration items, processes and documentation, and so on. A service change is a change to an existing service or the introduction of a new service. Once the service change has been implemented, a report on actual performance is received from operations. Using customer requirements, including acceptance criteria, the actual performance and the performance model, a risk assessment is carried out. Configuration item, CI, is any component that needs to be managed in order to deliver an IT service. Configuration items may be grouped and managed together, e.g., a set of components may be grouped into a release. Configuration items should be selected using established selection criteria, grouped, classified, and identified in such a way that they are manageable and traceable throughout the service lifecycle. Change Advisory Board is a body that exists to support the authorization of changes and to assist change management in the assessment and prioritization of changes. The CAB members' responsibilities typically include participating in the meetings, authority to represent a particular group or function, preparing for CAB meetings by circulating RFCs within their own group and coordinating feedback, reviewing RFCs and recommending whether they should be authorized, reviewing successful and failed changes, reviewing unauthorized changes. If there is a single CAB, then the CAB chair will almost always be the change manager. If there are multiple CABs, then there may be multiple change managers, each chairing a different CAB. Change management, key metrics and challenges. Key metrics for change management are unauthorized changes, the number of unauthorized changes in the environment due to which failures of changes are happening, unplanned outages, number of outages happening without raising change records, a low change success rate, number of low-risk changes success rate, a higher number of emergency changes, number of emergency changes with respect to other types of changes, delayed project implementations, number of changes which do not get implemented as per scheduled time and have delayed the projects. Key challenges with change management are lack of commitment to the change management process by the business and lack of business sponsorship, lack of clarity on how change management should interact with other service management processes, such as release and deployment management or service asset and configuration management. Insufficient time being allowed for proper assessment of changes and pressure from projects or the business to expedite decisions. Insufficient time allowed for implementation of changes and attempts to fit too many changes into a change window. Change management role. Change manager. The role of the change manager is as follows. The change manager controls the life cycle of all changes, allocates priority, rejects incomplete and impractical, ensure minimum disruption to IT services due to change, chair Change Advisory Board, CAB, and ECAB, issue change schedules, coordinate building, testing and implementation, update the change log, review implemented changes, review outstanding RFCs, publish management reports,